Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go ahead and answer it. This gameplay here is some Call of Duty Ghost. Hope you guys all sit back, relax, and enjoy that. We're going to have some varied gameplay this week where we might have some Call of Duty Ghost right here at the start, and then we might transition to some UFC, we might transition to some Call of Duty 4. We're going to have some varied gameplay this week. I think it's always good to kind of switch up rather than show, 4 or 5 different Call of Duty Ghost gameplays in one video. To switch things up, of course, depending on how long this particular episode lasts. Sometimes they last quick, like 20 minutes. Sometimes they go on for 50 minutes. You never really know with Dear Nero. We've got some good questions sent in this week, and we're going to hop in with the first question. He's going to write, Dear Nero, do you think that Battlefield or any other first-person shooter franchise will ever take the Call of Duty series, or do you think that Call of Duty will always be on top? Nick from Arizona. So Nick, that's kind of a tough sell. I really don't know what could possibly come up and take over Call of Duty. Now, of course, it's hard for a game to be the top game of a genre for a very, very long time. You remember back to Halo. Halo was at the top of its game in the first-person shooter genre, and then Call of Duty came in and it overtook it. And how did it do that? It revolutionized first-person shooters with the idea of kill streaks and the idea of perks and just the entire system that they had within the game and how different it was than Halo. It kind of came in and became a whole thing. But Call of Duty has lasted a very, very long time. And I'm going to say this. If you look at the numbers on Call of Duty Ghost, not nearly as many people are playing Call of Duty Ghost this year as they were Black Ops 2 last year, right? A lot of people decided they didn't really like Ghost that much, and they went back to Black Ops 2, which is evident by the fact that Black Ops 2 has more people consistently playing it than they do Call of Duty Ghost. If you guys want to, I guess you would need a lot of different things to do this, but I can do it just by simply putting out a tweet where I ask people to send in screenshots of, how many people are playing on each platform. You look at how many people are playing Black Ops 2 on the 360 and the PS3, then you compare that to how many people are playing Ghost on the 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. More people are playing Black Ops 2 on the last-gen consoles. It's because people seem to like that game. And with Advanced Warfare, right, it's going to be so new. There's going to be so many different things happening with Advanced Warfare that we've probably never seen within the Call of Duty franchise. It's either going to jumpstart it and set this awesome precedent and it's going to pave the way for future Call of Duty games, or it's going to flop really, really bad, I worry. I worry that it's going to be pretty bad. And if you look at the dwindling numbers on Call of Duty Ghost, and then if Advanced Warfare doesn't turn out to be as good as a lot of people are hoping it's going to be with all the new futuristic stuff and all the new things that Sledgehammer is going to be trying out this year, it could be a good time for someone like Battlefield to pop in and make a bigger dent within Call of Duty. And they might be able to take them over because of that. Maybe. We'll see. It's a tough sell. Once again, it's a tough sell. I would still hold true to the opinion that Call of Duty probably has at least 5 years before any other game really becomes giant competition, because Call of Duty is such a staple in the homes of everybody. It's just such a big, popular game. It would be really difficult for another game, another first-person shooter especially, to come in and pull better numbers than what Call of Duty pulls every single year. That's going to be pretty tough. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what race and class are you in the Elder Scrolls Online? Cal from Ohio. Now, I love this question because I play so much Elder Scrolls Online. Now, I'll post it up here to my channel because I don't think a lot of people are interested in MMOs or maybe even Elder Scrolls games. But it's a really fun game. I really enjoy playing it. I play it every night with my friend Nick. And so I play for the Aldmeri Dominion. And my first character was actually a Wood Elf Templar, which is kind of like a healer. I found pretty quickly that I didn't like being the healer very much. I didn't like that very much at all, so I made a new character. I was like up to level 32 and I made a new character. And I'm still in the Aldmeri Dominion. This time I'm a Khajiit Dragon Knight. And that's really fun. Yes, I said Dragon Knight. It's not a reference to the Pokemon. It's a Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight. But yeah, I'm a Khajiit Dragon Knight, and I'm up to level 48, I think. I'm getting close to 50, then I'm going to go up into the veteran ranks. I've been playing that game a lot. I really do. I love that game. And if you guys play Elder Scrolls Online and you're part of the Aldmeri Dominion, then go ahead and shoot me a friend request on the Elder Scrolls, and we can play and stuff. We can go do quests, or go do dungeons, or go to Cyrodiil and get killed by veterans and stuff. We'll do that. My name is, well, I guess the @'s easier. It's @NerosCinema on Elder Scrolls Online if you guys want to add me on there. So go ahead and do that. I think it'd be pretty cool. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your thought on overpriced shoes? Like the Yeezy 2s are about $5,000. And I was just wondering, love your videos and keep up the great work. Nico from North Carolina. So Nico, I don't know anything about these Yeezy 2s or any of these fancy shoes that you're talking about, but I do know that some shoes are ridiculously expensive, right? I can understand that. But to me, I don't understand it, because why would someone want to pay $5,000 for a pair of shoes? Doesn't make sense to me. But on the flip side of things, I'm sure there's people out there, they're like, why would someone spend $1,200 on a computer? Right? Like, I can get a perfectly good computer for $300 and does everything I want it to do at Walmart, right? To some people, that's perfect for them, but for me, I'm on YouTube and I game on my computer and I'm rendering videos and stuff. I need a beastly computer, so I spend $1,200 in total on my computer. And to other people, that's probably outlandish, right? To spend that much on a computer. And that's not counting the dual monitor setups. That's not counting the Razer keyboard and the Razer mouse. And to be honest, the only reason I got these things is because they glow green and look really, really cool. But yeah, to other people, spending this much stuff on gaming-related stuff doesn't make sense. So really, who are we to judge, I guess, on people that want to spend a lot of money on shoes? Although I think everyone in the world can agree that $5,000 for a pair of shoes is just ridiculously outlandish. But if someone were to spend $1,500 on a pair of shoes, would that really be that much different than all the stuff that we spend on gaming? I don't know. Who are we to judge, I guess? Who are we to judge? Each their own. If that's their thing and they've got the disposable income to do it and it's not hurting them in the process, then go for it. We're all just trying to live our lives here, and whatever you're interested in, be interested in it and do what you want. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, do you feel like Call of Duty will become so advanced in the future that it won't feel like a Call of Duty game anymore? Thanks and keep up the great work. Mike from Florida. So Mike, I definitely worry about that. I've made a couple videos over the past couple days talking about the idea of the exoskeletons in Advanced Warfare and how that could possibly be a cool thing or how it could possibly be an awful thing. How it could really change the Call of Duty franchise. But I feel as though we're just overreacting like we do every single year. And it's going to be the same Call of Duty. You know, once again, I use this example a lot. Look back at Black Ops 2 and all the different things that we saw within the campaign trailers and such. We're like, wow, all that stuff's going to be in the game. This is ridiculous. What is Treyarch doing? This doesn't make any sense. It's so futuristic. But then once you actually play the multiplayer, it's really basic. You know, all that crazy stuff is in the campaign, but the multiplayer itself still comes down to, you got your assault rifles and your submachine guns and your light machine guns. You got your frag grenades. You got your kill streaks. Hopefully your UAV, Infinity Ward. Hopefully your UAV. And it's going to still feel like the same Call of Duty, hopefully. But we do know exoskeletons are in the game. So I definitely hope it's in the game. If it's really weird, will I not like Call of Duty anymore? I think I'll still like it. I mean, they can't change it so much that it's not Call of Duty. It would just be a very different version of Call of Duty. And I still like Call of Duty, so I still feel as though I will like the game regardless of how it's going to work. But I'm definitely hoping for a more traditional Call of Duty, not a super ridiculous futuristic one that may not be that much fun, and then we'll just have to all suffer through that entire year while we wait for a new Call of Duty to come out. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it's kind of a more traditional Call of Duty with a few new twists. That's what I think we're all hoping for. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, which Call of Duty game mode is your favorite? And if it's a repeat game mode, like Domination or Search and Destroy, then specify which Call of Duty game did that game mode play the best on. I just subscribed to you because your content is great. Keep it up. Cameron from Kansas. So Cameron from Kansas. I don't know why it's fun to say. Cameron from Kansas. That's fun to say to me. So thank you for new subscriber. That's awesome. Or you're a relatively new subscriber, as you wrote in your message. That's awesome. Which Call of Duty game mode is my favorite? And if it's a repeat game mode, which game did it the best? I would say my favorite game mode all time was probably Domination. It's funny, you listed two of my favorites right there in your question with Domination and Search and Destroy. See, for the first few years of Call of Duty 4 and World at War, I played almost exclusively Search and Destroy, but then Modern Warfare 2 kind of ruined Search and Destroy for me because they had trick shotting, and the community itself, just the way they played Search and Destroy in that game really turned me off it. So I started playing Ground War, I started playing Domination, and ever since I'm really more of a Domination player. A bit of Kill Confirmed as well, but I'd say my two favorite are Domination and Search and Destroy. And I feel as though the game that did Domination the best was actually Call of Duty 4, the very first game that I played. Because in Call of Duty 4, the spawns didn't flip very much. I mean, you were shooting people as they spawned, you were shooting them as they popped up. But if you had them at the A flag, and you kind of, cut off all their escape routes, they were going to stay around that general area. You weren't going to accidentally push up too far or something, and then the enemy team suddenly spawning behind you on the B flag or anything like that, like they like to do in these newer Call of Duties to hold the hands of the newer players. It was more of a skill-based domination, I would say. You know, whoever's the better player, whoever's the better team, ended up doing better. You know, that was the thing. Whereas in the newer Call of Duty games and domination, occasionally, not all the time, it's not completely broken, but occasionally, you'll push in or something, and then the enemy team will literally just spawn right behind you on the B flag and just shoot everybody, and then you just take the B flag, and then they'll run over the C, and they grab that, and suddenly it's complete anarchy, and it's like, they did that just because they were the worst team that only had one flag, and I don't like how they do that. I really don't like how they do that. And in Search and Destroy, I've complained about this a million times. Ever since Modern Warfare 3. Well, Black Ops 2 did it relatively well, actually, I would say. But in Modern Warfare 3 and in Ghost, they've added SitRep Pro in Modern Warfare 3, and what is the name of it in Ghost? Amplify. They had Amplify in Ghost, where you can hear through dead silence, which makes Search and Destroy, like, unplayable for me, because if you wear SitRep Pro in Modern Warfare 3, or Amplify in Call of Duty Ghost, you win! All you gotta do is walk around crouching, and you'll hear everybody, and you kill all the people. I hate it. It ruins Search and Destroy for me. I cannot enjoy Search and Destroy in Infinity Ward games anymore. And it kind of sucks because, in my opinion, I think Infinity Ward usually did Search and Destroy a bit better in terms of the map layouts and the bomb locations and stuff. I feel as though Infinity Ward usually does Search and Destroy better in terms of the map layout. But they add in stuff like SitRep Pro and Amplify, which make it so you literally have to crouch around as you're walking and trying to play the game so that you don't get sound hoard. I like it better when everyone just wears dead silence, everyone's silent, and we play. But we can't do that anymore, apparently. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, where did you get the name Nero? Was it the Roman Emperor Nero? Have a wonderful day. Jamie from Tyrone, Ireland. Jamie from Tyrone, Ireland. So, how do I get the name Nero? This is a question I've answered before, but like I say, I like to do repeat questions on occasion because there's a lot of people that are newer subscribers to my channel, just like the person that sent in the last question that may not know this kind of stuff. So, I go by Nero online, and the reason for that is my first gamer tag was Nero10, and how I came to getting the name Nero was growing up, I was a really big fan of the WWF, and now it's called the WWE, and my favorite wrestler was Jeff Hardy. I used to love watching Matt and Jeff Hardy. They were a really good tag team back in the day, back when they used to face the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian, or having TLC matches all the places. Jeff Hardy was my favorite wrestler, and his full name is Jeffrey Nero Hardy. His middle name was Nero, and I found that out about him. I thought that was ridiculously awesome. I just thought Nero was a cool name, and so when I got Xbox Live, I made my gamer tag Nero10. Like Nero10, Nero10, that was my gamer tag. My first ever gamer tag. So that's how I go by Nero, and then I've always been going by Nero ever since. And that's how I got it. It's not from the Roman Emperor Nero that used to kill people and put their heads on spikes. It's not because of him, it's because Jeff Hardy. Although his name might be inspired from the Roman Emperor Nero. Who knows? That's a plot twist right there. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I've been trying to get my KD up in Call of Duty, but you said the best way to do that is to play with an actual team. Anyway, I was just trying to figure out the best way to get a Call of Duty team/clan together. Not anything professional like esports or anything, but just people who are reliable in online often. Thanks and congratulations on 200K, Nick from New Jersey. So Nick, I'm kind of in a special position. A lot of the people that I play with were former or still current subscribers of mine. So back in the day, I would do open lobbies and stuff, and then people would come in, and I'd play with them in the open lobbies, and they'd kind of become more frequent in the open lobbies, so eventually I add them to my friends list, and then eventually I start playing with them. That's how I met Cypher. That's how I met Foxhound. That's how I met Vicious. That's how I met just about everybody. That's how I met Wildcat, even. That's how I met everybody on my friends list, except for, I think, Toucan. Toucan and Tryhard are the only two people that I played with back in the day in World at War, and how I became friends with them is I would just talk to people in lobbies. Now, I know that can be tough, which, truth be told, I don't talk to anybody on Call of Duty. If I'm playing by myself, like I'm playing solo, I join a party chat with my mic turned on just so that I can't hear people in the game. That's how I play. I don't like to listen to people in games. I don't, because it's all just gibberish and racism and just awful things, right, in Xbox Live game chat, right? That's how we did it back in 2008 when I met Toucan and I met Tryhard. We would just, I'd play Search and Destroy, and I realized Tryhard's on the other team or something, and he's doing really good. And when the game puts us on the same team, we both do really good. We carry our team, and then we're like, hey, you want me back out and invite you? That way we're always on the same team. He's like, yeah, sweet. Or at least in World at War, we had a squad system in that game, which has never been featured in any Call of Duty game since then for whatever reason, but the squad system was great. Basically, you can make a squad on your team in World at War, and so you and that person in your squad were always on the same team. It's like backing out and joining a game, like a party together, but it's built into the game. It's just a really cool feature. And we would do that, and then we added each other to our friends list. And the next time I was online, and I seen he was online, I'm like, hey, Tryhard, let's go play. That's the best way to do it. You could just talk to people in game and try and add them. Back out and invite good players. If you realize that you're doing good and someone else in the lobby is doing really good, send them a message saying, hey, you want to back out and party up so we're always on the same team? That way you guys can go crush stuff together. Maybe you become friends. Another thing you can do, which I always suggest you guys doing, is in the comments of this video, write down your gamer tag or your PlayStation ID as well as your platform and ask people to add you. And then you guys can add each other from the comment section and you guys can all go play together. You guys already have a common interest, which apparently is me, and you guys can just talk about me. Yeah, there you go. Everyone just add each other and talk about me, and then become friends, lifelong friends, that you will play every single game together, and you guys will just be best buds. There you can do that. So write your gamer tags or your PlayStation IDs in the comment section. Of course, always say where you're from, maybe, or what times you're on, or things like that. Just try and add people from the comments. That could work, or talk to people, of course, in game chat by people that way. It's definitely worth it. It's definitely great to be able to play with a group of people rather than the random batch of idiots that they just match you up with via the matchmaking. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, every time you mention doing a Skyrim Let's Play, you say it will be over 100 episodes long and that you don't want to do it. If you did do a Skyrim Let's Play though, I would watch every single episode of it. Also, will you have a summer open lobby schedule because all of your younger viewers are out of school? Agent 9400 from Georgia. So yeah, the Skyrim Let's Play, I'm still never going to do a Skyrim Let's Play. That is the longest freaking Let's Play, like well over 100 episodes. It would be an effort. It would be a giant undertaking, and I don't want to go, and I just don't want to do that. Maybe some other schools online stuff, but probably like dungeons and raids and things like that. Maybe not like a full, all right, I'm level 0, let's get the veteran rank 12. Probably nothing like that. Maybe some other school stuff on my Let's Play channel. As for the open lobbies, I don't like the idea of a schedule. I'm just not very much of a schedule person. I have 2 scheduled series on my channel. Every Wednesday is Dear Nero, every Saturday is Chem Strike Saturday. Those are my series. I don't like scheduling. I like to be able, I like freedom and be able to do what I want when I want. That's definitely a cool thing that comes with doing YouTube. But I do want to do a bunch of open lobbies this summer. Be it, most of them can be on Twitter. If you guys want to go on Twitter, it's twitter.com/NeroTweets. That's a very loud motorcycle outside. If you guys can hear that, that's very loud. But it's twitter.com/NeroTweets. You guys can follow me on Twitter. And then whenever I'm doing an open lobby, I say, hey, message this gamer tag, and I'm playing this game on this platform. I would say, okay, message SB Nero, we're about to go play some Call of Duty 4 on the Xbox 360, or message SB Nero, we're about to play some Black Ops on the 360, or message SB Nero, we're looking for, goodness, I don't know, Elder Scrolls Online stuff. I don't know. We do open lobbies. It's mainly on the 360, because that's the only platform I have. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's NeroTweets, and you guys go ahead and do that, and you could be in the open lobbies. We're going to do a lot of them this summer, so be stoked for that. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what's your opinion on the stereotype that people have that all Southern people are ignorant rednecks? Being an Alabama native, I'd take a lot of offense to it, considering I consider myself to be an intellectual person. Blake from Alabama. So Blake, stereotypes, they can only hurt you if you let them, right? Stereotypes, to me, stereotypes are funny. I like to think somehow that everyone in the South is like an inbred Southern redneck. Right? Racist. Inbred Southern redneck racist, right? That's a stereotype of the South. The North is, like, you picture, like, New York City. Everyone's really, really rude. Stereotypes of Boston, they have that Boston accent. I don't really have too many stereotypes where I live. I'm in northwestern Pennsylvania, but there is a stereotype that in northwestern Pennsylvania and northeastern Ohio, there's just nothing but Amish people. So there's kind of like an Amish stereotype up here. The stereotype out in California is everyone's a hipster and everyone's like a fitness guru person. The stereotype of people live up, like, way up in the northeast or northwest, excuse me, Seattle, everyone's depressed because it's always raining up there. And the stereotype of people over in England, you guys know the stereotypes, right? You know stereotypes. To me, stereotypes are funny. I think stereotype humor is funny because they're stereotypes. There's a little bit of truth to it. There's a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's mostly just blown out of proportion. Well, that's the fun of it to me. You should embrace the fact that people, if someone says that like you're just some kind of Alabama redneck, that's just your stereotype. They're not saying that you specifically are an Alabama redneck. They know nothing of you. It's just a stereotype. Right? Stereotypes shouldn't offend you. They're a joke. They're not serious. Yeah, I don't think that there's anyone out there that legitimately believes that literally every single person that lives in Alabama is a redneck. You know, or every single person that lives in the South is some kind of racist or something, you know, and they're going to rebel and the South shall rise again. I don't think anyone believes that. It's all humor. It's all jokes. And if you were an intellectual person, you could see that it's just a joke, man. Just relax. It's all stereotypes, funny stuff. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I heard that you like to play Hearthstone, and I was wondering if you ever thought to posting some gameplay on your Let's Play channel. I love watching Hearthstone, but none of the YouTubers that I like post it. Jake from Vancouver. So Jake from Vancouver, we got Canadian. Hearthstone on my channel, maybe. See, the thing about Hearthstone is there's a lot of backseat gaming when it comes to Hearthstone. You know, if I were to post up Hearthstone videos, then suddenly everyone's critiquing every single move that I make, and I found that a lot of the people that I like to watch that do Hearthstone, the opinion from them is they love the game, but they're starting to not like the game as much because when they do post it up on their channels, that so many people try to critique them and stuff, and so many people are just trying to tear them down because of one mistake or disagreeing on a certain kind of move or something like that, that it really takes a lot of the fun away from the game from them. So there might be some Hearthstone stuff over on Nero's Let's Plays, perhaps, but not guaranteeing anything. If I do stuff, it's probably gimmicky style stuff, like I don't know, maybe not so much gimmicky, but like I have a hunter deck that I like to run with, and I've ran with it forever, where it's all about just unleashing as many different kinds of beasts as possible and just running down the opponent's throat. And then I have a warlock deck, which I'm experimenting with, and I like it a whole lot, where it's kind of the opposite of my hunter deck, where instead of just rushing down their throats, which is kind of like the warlock zoo deck that a lot of people do, I like to do like a real heavy hitter warlock deck where I have a ton of big monsters, and it's all about getting the big monsters on the field and things like that. So maybe we might do some Hearthstone videos on my Let's Play channel. We'll see about it. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, do you think that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare will be more like an Infinity Ward game or more like a Treyarch game, or do you think it will be completely different from both? Keep up the awesome videos, Zach in North Carolina. So Zach, I'm going to say this about Advanced Warfare. I want it to be different than Infinity Ward or Treyarch. If I had to choose, I'd prefer them to be more on the Treyarch side, to be honest. I'd prefer, I like Treyarch more than Infinity Ward. If I had to get, there's multiple answers to this. So, I think it's going to be more like an Infinity Ward game. I'd prefer it to be more like a Treyarch game, but I would also like it, if they couldn't be like either one of them, I would like for the game to be completely different. I want it to feel different, you know, because I really don't like the Infinity Ward games as much as I like the Treyarch games. So if they were to be a lot like Infinity Ward, which they're probably going to be because they worked with Infinity Ward on Modern Warfare 3, if they're like that, then it's going to feel like we have 2 Infinity Ward games, then a Treyarch game. So 2 out of the 3-year cycle, we're going to have Infinity Ward style games. And if you're not a big fan of the Infinity Ward style games, well, then you're just kind of SOL on that front. And that kind of stinks. And the same thing goes, if you're not a fan of how Treyarch does things, and they're kind of like Treyarch, then you're going to have 2 Treyarch games every 3 years, and that's not going to be fun for you. So hopefully they have their own feel, something, I don't know how they would do it, but I hope they feel different, and it's very distinctly a Sledgehammer game, and not like Infinity Ward, not like Treyarch, and it's its own standalone game. It feels different, and so every time a new game comes out, it's a different experience than the one before it, and it's going to be a different experience than the one that's going to come after it. Hopefully that would be the case. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, and I actually took this message, it was a very long paragraph, and I decided to summarize it for you guys. So to summarize this, it was sent in by a guy named Hawaiian in Florida. And to summarize it quickly, he's a 14-year-old guy, he's running his YouTube channel with 3 other friends. All of these friends are older than him. He keeps trying his best to make meetings happen, and he wants to try and organize what people are doing, what they're posting, who needs to be doing the editing. He's trying to basically run this 4-man YouTube channel and trying to organize everything. But nobody's helping. No one wants to make videos. No one wants to do any of the editing. They're just kind of being all lackadaisical with the entire thing. He's wondering how I can maybe inspire them to do some things by themselves. And this is my answer to you, Mr. Hawaiian in Florida. Give up on it. Either kick them all from the channel or make your own YouTube channel. So this is something I've had with my own group of friends, right? My own group of friends are the same way. They're all just lazy, lackadaisical people when it comes to YouTube. They, randomly, they'll be like, oh man, I'm gonna do YouTube. I'm gonna make a real push at it. They'll make 2 videos and then they're done for a month, right? And it's like, okay, they obviously don't have the passion and drive for YouTube. And we've tried so many times, to try and get them in there. We're trying to, we're liking their videos and we're linking their videos on Twitter, and, we're trying to help out people like Cypher and Blue Bob and Foxhound and everyone, trying to help them get their YouTube channels going. But it all comes down to they just don't want to. They don't put the time in, they don't put the effort in. It's like, whatever, all right, I'm done trying to help your YouTube channel grow. The people that do try to make the YouTube channel grow happen. I started at the same spot they did, and now I'm here. Wildcat started from the same spot they did, and now he's there. And Mr. Boss of the Wind started from the same spot they're at, and now he's there. Everyone that I know that's actually made a legitimate push towards YouTube has grown ridiculously. Right? I'm at 200K. Mr. Boss is at 300K. Wildcat's over 1 million subscribers, right? And those are all people that I've been friends with for a long time, back when all of us had under 2,000 subscribers. And we've all grown. It's because we actually take the legitimate time. We take the time, we put the effort, and we make the videos, and we take it seriously. But, so basically, in short, everyone I know that puts in the effort grows on YouTube, and they become big. But the people that I want to, like, okay, so do you guys want, we can help you grow your YouTube channel, and they just don't, they don't want to do it. It's like, whatever, I'm done trying to help you people. You're sitting there being lackadaisical and not wanting to do anything. If you don't have the passion for it, don't do it. And it's obviously your friends don't have the passion to do it, and they're not really that interested in YouTube, but it's clear that you are. So I suggest either kicking them from the channel and taking it over, or go out on your own. Make your own channel, get a good name, figure out what you're going to be posting, post up your stuff, and best of luck to you, sir, because it's sometimes tough out there, sometimes tough. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, why are you not verified if you have 200,000 subscribers? And also, if Call of Duty turns into a Halo/Titanfall type game, will you continue to play it or switch to something else? Nevin from Texas. Nevin. I don't think I've ever met anyone named Nevin. So, the verification thing on YouTube, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense. So, some people are verified, but other people aren't, and I don't really know the differences. So the people that are like in my sub box, we have Wildcat, Mr. Boss for the Win, and Drifter there is also in there. So Wildcat is like at the top, and then so Wildcat's like at 1 million, Drifter's like 600,000, and Mr. Boss for the Win's at 300,000, right? So Mr. Boss for the Win and Wildcat, they're both verified, but Drifter, who has less than Wildcat but more than Mr. Boss of the Win, he's not verified. So that says to me it's all random, and that YouTube will randomly, just go in and decide that you're verified. I think that's honestly is how it works. And I'm not trying to talk about YouTubers a whole lot in this video. I'm just using those guys as examples. They're all friends of mine. They're all in my sub box. That's how it is. For whatever reason, Drifter's not verified, and I'm not verified, but other people are. It's just all random. It doesn't make any sense. If Call of Duty were to turn into a Halo/Titanfall type game, will I continue to play it? I will continue to play it, because I'm assuming it's still going to feel like Call of Duty. I think I mentioned that earlier on in the video. If it even resembles Call of Duty, I think I'm going to like it. I think I'm going to still play it, but I think I'm not going to like it as much if it does become a Halo/Titanfall game. I will continue to play it, but the idea of switching to something else, I already do that. I play tons of games. I just post mainly Call of Duty here on my channel because that's what people like to see. Occasionally I do UFC, or occasionally I'll do different kind of games like Battlefield, or I'll do I did a playthrough of Pokemon MMO and Red Dead Redemption's Undead Nightmare, and on my Let's Play channel, of course, we do a bunch of different games over there. Right now we're doing Game Dev Tycoon. I play a bunch of different games. I just primarily post Call of Duty. If you're talking about why I switch my YouTube channel up, it depends if anything can become as popular as Call of Duty. I do play a bunch of different stuff, but primarily people subscribe to me for Call of Duty, so I like to post up Call of Duty. That's kind of how it works. I like Call of Duty, you like Call of Duty, let's make some Call of Duty videos. It's not like I'm just going to start flooding people with random other kind of games. Occasionally you'll see them, yeah, but it's not going to be a big thing. I'm not going to be showing them all the time. So I think Call of Duty next year, Advanced Warfare, will be a fun game. Hopefully it's not too different, but I just don't see them changing around too much. I think the higher ups at Activision, if they were to come at them with some kind of Titanfall style game as the next Call of Duty, they'd be like, whoa, 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 this is even Call of Duty. Now I think they would do something. I think there's people higher up than Sledgehammer that are kind of influencing them to make sure it's still Call of Duty, and hopefully that's the case, because I think we're all a bit worried about Advanced Warfare, but I think it's going to be all right. Next and final question, he writes, Dear Nero. A while back, Sledgehammer Games announced that their game was going to be able to be played on the 360 and the PS3. Do you think that they should make their game next-gen only? Jake from Florida. So Jake, I don't think anybody actually wants Advanced Warfare to be next-gen only. I think a lot of people wanted it to be next-gen first, and I think that's the case for Advanced Warfare. It's going to be next-gen first. And I see people in the comments that are sometimes confused by this. So when a game is next-gen first, that means they're developing this game primarily for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and then I kind of like for the PC as well. They were going to make it for the Xbox One, the PS4, and they're going to try and use every inch of hardware they can. They're going to pull everything they can out of those machines to be able to put the most, as much as they can into the game, right? And then they're going to port it over to the PC. They're going to port it down to the 360. They're going to port it over to the PlayStation 3. That's how it works. Now, the ported versions might not be as good. You don't know what, if you think of like what they have in Call of Duty Ghost on the Xbox One. I'm just using Xbox One because I play on the Xbox One, so I know the differences. On Xbox One, Ground War is on Call of Duty Ghost, but it's not on the 360. There's 18 people infected on the Xbox One, but it's not on the 360. The graphics look better on the Xbox One than they do the 360. Other than that, there's really no big major changes, but with Advanced Warfare, there might be bigger changes. There might be certain kinds of things within the game, maybe Revolution style stuff that is available to be able to use on the Xbox One, but it doesn't work on the PlayStation, or doesn't work on the Xbox 360. That could be the case. There could be a lot of things within the game that just aren't available on the 360 and the PS3 because they can't handle that much things at once. But I honestly doubt it. I honestly think the biggest thing that they're going to do is just probably really fancy graphics. I think we're just going to have a really good looking game without too many different differentiating features going from the Xbox One to the 360 as well as the PS4 to the PS3. That's how I think that would all work. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. It's kind of a medium range, I would say, for this week's episode. It's not short, it's not long. I'd say it's probably in the middle area, somewhere in there. But I do hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, though. But I do hope you guys did enjoy the episode, though. And if you guys like to send in your guys' questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. Make the title of the message Dear Nero. And if it's a good question, an entertaining question, and above all, a question I have not yet answered before, I will do my best to go ahead and answer it for you guys. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.